Hey everybody, welcome back. This was not originally supposed to be a voiceover, but then we had the rain gods visit us, so yeah. Thunderstorms and makeup? No bueno. I already went ahead and put my primer on, and now I am just putting on my Wet n Wild foundation. Yes, I know this is not my color match, but this is all I have for right now. I have definitely been tanning a lot more than I originally wanted to, so I'll probably end up going and buying some more foundation. But it's okay, because we're just going to make it work. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and put the Kylie Jenner concealer on in the shade Maple. And I have already done my eyebrows. I went ahead and used the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Granite. So I'm going to just go ahead and blend it out with a brush, and then I'm going to go back in with a sponge. This is definitely my preferred method, as you saw with matte foundation. I like it. Try it out. Tell me how you feel about it. I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I am not a makeup artist. So if I do stuff and you're just like, that's not how you do it, well, this is just my hobby. I like to do this, and that's all I have to say about that. Okay, next up I'm just going to go ahead and set where I put that concealer. I'm going to be using the Color FX setting powder, and I do not like to bake, but that's just my method, my preferred method. You can do whatever you want. This is just how I like to do it. Alright, so next up we have the Anastasia bronzer, and I'm just using this as a contour color, and this is the color Saddle. Okay, I'm going to be using the Butter Bronzer in the shade Deep Bronzer, and I'm just going to go over where I contoured at. It's very pigmented, just be careful when you apply it, but it is my favorite drugstore bronzer to use. Okay, so picking up that middle shade, I'm going to be using the Alamar Blush Trio on my cheeks. Okay, so here comes my favorite part, and I will be using the Nikki Tutorials highlighter in the shade Glow Goals, and I am going just to make myself shine. And if you like to shine, this is definitely the highlighter to go to. Okay, so moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be using the Thank Me Later eyeshadow primer. I'm just going to be applying that to my eyes. Normally I use concealer, but today I wanted to try something a little bit different. Okay, so I'm just setting that with the setting powder that I used earlier. And today's palette, we're going to be using the Beaute Scarlet Dusk palette. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up my transition color, and that is in the Sunset Rose. Okay, the next one is actually shade, that's the name of the color. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right underneath the transition color where my eyelid folds in. So you just really want to blend this together and go back and forth until you feel it's real blended. Okay, I'm picking up the Bahamas color. I'm just going to apply that on the outer part of my eye. You want to make sure that it's blended into the color shade. That way it just works together. Okay, picking up the darker color in the palette, it's called Nocturnal. I'm going to focus this on the outer part of my eye. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just patting it. I'm not really blending it or rubbing it, just slightly, but mostly patting it to make it look darker. Now this is for your preference only. If you want to make it look darker, you can. You could just pat it a little bit more, or you can leave it the way it is. See the difference? Okay, I'm gonna go back into that transition color and I'm just gonna blend everything together. And that color was Sunset Rose. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up his hibiscus and apply that to the middle part of my eye. Now these shimmer shades in this palette work better if you spray your brush with some setting spray. I'm telling you, it'll work wonders. It'll make it so much more prettier. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick up Aruba, and I'm just going to apply that to the inner corners of my eye to make the look more brighter. Okay, so in this next clip, I put this color Crimson on top of that transition color Sunset Rose, just to make it look a little bit more orangier. And then I'm going back and blending it out with Sunset Rose on top, just so it doesn't look a little harsh. Of course, this would happen to me, but what are you gonna do, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just list everything in the description box below on where I put it on my under eyes and what lashes I used and what liner I used. Right now I'm just going to go ahead and put the Smashbox liquid lipstick in the shade Babe Alert. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set everything with my Ciate setting spray. This smells like coconuts, it's so good. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pat everything down with my sponge. Yeah, so I definitely learned that next time I should probably wear a headband because my hair was getting on my nerves throughout this whole tutorial. So I apologize for that. So this is the final look. I hope you guys like it. and I will see you again.